Hello, this is John N5ID. I believe this is lesson 9 where we're going to learn numbers 5 through 9. In lesson 8 we learned 0 through 4. Let's review that. 0, 1, 2. You can probably hear the dog in the background. My shack's in the sunroom, and she likes to come out here and go out in the backyard, and she barks at neighbor dogs, and she chases giant lizards and just has fun out there in the summertime. She'll get hot here in a minute and want to come in the shack with me. Where was I at? 3. That's 3. 4. Again, 0 is, remember, it's 5 characters. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. So that is 0 through 4. Now let's learn 5. I think 0 and 5 is the easiest ones to learn because 0 is $5. And I know sometimes I say dashes. I can't believe I still do that after 48 years. 5 is very simple. It's 5 dits. 5 dits is the number 5. And 6 is $1 and 4 dits. $1 and 4 dits. That's 6. 7 is $2 and 3 dits. 8 is $3 and 2 dits. And 9 is $4 and 1 dit. Nine. Let's go over that again. 5, 6, 7. I messed up, so what am I supposed to do? I'm either supposed to hold it down or to let you know that I messed up. 7, 8, 9. So let's write these down. 5 is 5 dits. 6 is $1 and 4 dits. Da, dit, 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 dit. 7 is da, da, dit, dit, dit. 8 is da, 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 dit, dit. And 9 is da, 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 dit. So write this down. 5 is 5 dits. 6 is $1 and 4 dits. 7 is $2 and 3 dits. 8 is $3 and 2 dits. And 9 is $4 and 1 dit. That's it. The numbers 0 through 9. Let's go over it again. Starting at 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm going to send you a string of numbers now. I messed up. Only sent 4, which is what? An H. That was 5897. Five, 8, 9, 7. Let me send you another string. That was 6, 7, 8, 5. I'm going to send you another string of numbers. Let me send that again and see if you can pick it up. That was 9, 6, 9, 9. Now let me incorporate some of the other numbers that we've learned. That was 1, 0, 2, 9, 6, 5. Let me send that again. That was 1, 0, 2, 9, 6, 5. Let me send one more string of numbers. That was 3, 4, 7, 9, 5. Let me send that again. That was 3, 4, 7, 9, 5. Now, let me send some letters and numbers. That was the word this. Let me send that again. That was the word this. That was the word is. Let me send it again. That was the word is. That was the letter A. That was the letter A. That was the word quiz, Q-U-I-Z. Let me send that again. That's CQ, CQ. That's DE for this is. And that's my call sign, N5ID. I'm pretending that someone has responded to me, so I sent TU for thank you. TU for thank you. That was a UR, abbreviation for your, for saying you are. You are, or your, RST. This, I'm going to send a signal report. RST, your RST, is 5, 9. I'm telling the other station that their RST is 599, and I will explain this in our last video. I'm just wanting you to get numbers down for now. I said your RST is 4, 3, 9. 4, 3, my Q T H Q T H is B L Y T H E V I L L E, Blyville. Now I'm going to send something you have not heard before, and that's a comma. And we'll learn commas and periods and breaks tomorrow. Comma. AR for Arkansas. AR for Arkansas, and a lot of people put a period at the end. I don't send many periods because I tend to mess up on them. See, I messed up on that one. A period is dit-da, dit-da, dit-da. I made it that time. That's a period. And I'll go ahead and teach you the break sign. But we'll learn that tomorrow. I want you to concentrate on learning the numbers today, and tomorrow in our 10th lesson we'll look at some abbreviations, and then we'll look at some common CW terms in our last lesson. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching, and God bless.